Welcome back. We are covering number 13 of 25 inspirational stories to encourage you in your business journey. One to help you fight off apathy and discouragement, as I know how the battle goes. And thank you for joining back in. If you have not checked out the first video in this series, there's a link in the playlist to the playlist in the description below, and I encourage you to check that out. I think that it's a good starting point, and it'll also lead you into the other videos that we've covered. Today, before we get started on number 13 here, we want to encourage you to click the subscribe button, click the thumbs up, which is the like button, which helps out, and then also the alert button so you're notified of when new videos are released. So again, hope you're enjoying the series, hope you're encouraged by that, hope you have not given up. That's the biggest thing, is to keep trying. Even if you're in the midst of failure or have failed before, don't give up, don't stop. So check out that first video as well. So today we're covering Joanne Rowling, or AKA J.K. Rowling. And if you don't know the name, you probably have heard, if you have kids, or maybe you yourself have seen the series, the Harry Potter series. So she is the author. And again, like most of these stories that I've covered, just didn't walk into success, has had struggles. And that's what we're going to cover here. So she was born, Rowling was born in Yate, Gloucestershire, in South England on July 31st, 1965. Her parents had her and her sister, and when Rowling was 23 months old, and it's documented too that she wrote fantasy stories for her sister and read them to her when they were both young. Um, She's said to have had an awkward and rough teenage years as well, which, not a lot of teenagers don't have them. Not everybody lives that fairy tale, teenage life, but, again, hers was awkward and difficult as well. She actually attended Whiting School and College, where her mother worked, but she ultimately got her BA in French and Classics from the University of Exeter. Um, and then she's also said to have been estranged from her father, but had a very good relationship with her mother. So we'll jump into the failure here. She actually took the entrance exams for Oxford University, which is, would be the equivalent of like Harvard in England, very prestigious university in England. And she took that in 1982, but was not accepted. Her mother also died from multiple sclerosis, which, again, my dad just passed back in December. So, it's tough when you have a parent die, it impacts you, and so but during that time of her mother's death, Rowling was inspired with the idea of Harry Potter and started writing the story. She married her first husband, or her husband then, in 1982. They had a daughter, Jessica, in 1993, and separated from her husband in 1993, also, and divorced in 1994. She came out, and I, really appreciate people who share their struggle, with various issues, but she struggled from domestic violence from her former husband during that time. Um, and again, I think a lot of us who have had, been involved with, parents who, were involved in domestic violence, it impacts you, as a kid. If you see that, both my dads, were involved with domestic violence with my mom as well. So, again, I really identify, and I think a lot of people listening to this probably identify with that as well too, and know the difficulty, and then the financial difficulty that comes from that as well, right? Both my dad and my stepdad did not really participate and contribute. So, she suffered the same, fate that, my family did, and I think a lot of families deal with, with the divorce rate, what it is. So, again, basically it left her on state assisted allowance, which is welfare. And she, obviously put her behind the eight ball, especially being a single mom of a young baby during that time. But she continued to write. She continued to write. And she kept writing on a manual typewriter, and she finished her first manuscript in 1995. And it wasn't just, easy going then, right? I mean, even after she finished her manuscript, she was rejected by the first 12 publishers that she submitted her manuscript to, so again, she kept fighting. She kept, working and doing the hard work and putting in the hard work, which we've talked about in the prior stories. I'm going through it with you guys as well too, putting in the hard work. Even though you don't see that immediate success, you got to keep on fighting on, right? So the first publisher only gave her £1,500 in advance and encouraged her to keep her day job, right? So, encouraged her to waitress or something like that. So then she received an $8,000 grant to help her continue her writing and which is how she finished her series, or continued to write her series. And the Harry Potter series, I mean, really did great for her. And again, we see the success at the end of the day, and a lot of times don't document and look at the hard times and what it took to get there. And I think that she's somebody who, having gone through tough times, um, she's accumulated, it's estimated about 795 million pounds in her net worth, and has donated 165 million pounds to charity, right? And I think that people who go through a tough time and struggle ultimately appreciate it even more, probably the most giving people as well too. So again, this story is, like I mentioned, these are meant to encourage you, meant to give you some insight into other folks who've struggled as well. And if you're going through that, again, your final chapter has not been written. I want to encourage you to keep on going and keep pushing through. And again, I hope the coverage on today's video of J.K. Rowling is an encouragement. So before we go, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and hit the alert button, and we will talk to you at our next video.